class, we implemented this basic stuffs, interface and abstraction. Today we will do polymorphism, the third concept from our object-oriented programming. So what happens here, in Java we can achieve polymorphism in two ways. Ways to achieve polymorphism in Java. First is uh, or you can say there are types or ways. One is overloading and one overloading. So we can come to this terms later. So one is overriding, next is overloading. So that can be achieved uh, in Java. I mean, this polymorphism can be achieved in Java by overriding and overloading. So in both cases, we will perform this operation on method. So we can say method overriding or method overloading. When it comes to overriding, we need inheritance. Okay, so that means we can say it happens by using two Java classes. Fine. But when it comes to overloading, we don't need any such features. Um, this we can achieve in can be achieved in single Java class. Fine. So within same class we will see that. Okay. So let's start with overloading first because it takes some simple you know one class. So overloading the method. So how it happens? Let's see. Actually, we have already seen this in constructor topic. If you guys were there, so we did something similar. We did constructor overloading by creating multiple constructors with same name. Same thing happens here. Same name, but different functionality. Same name, what? Same method name. So think about, we have a method. Let's suppose, um, for example, we have a Java class, let's say, which contains a method which has same types, same name. Um, just thinking. Okay, let's say we have some method bake. Okay, which does not takes any argument, just one argument. Next, we can have same method name bake, but this time we have some, you can say instructions, right? Now you can see both are same method bake. I mean with method with if you notice the name, but we have some arguments. So by adding arguments, different types of number of arguments, you can overload the method. You can have one more argument, let's say int, anything you can say, ingredients or whatever you can say. So we can have multiple method like that. So let's get this one. Simple example you have to create, write in the package and go for the class. Let's say cooking, baking, whatever, or let's make it different. Let's make it kitchen. Now I'm going to add a method. So public void bake. this out and keep things simple. Let's say bake with default method. Next, we can have one method with arguments string like how to bake. Instructions. Bake method on argument. Let's say bake with default. So let's just keep two methods. So you can say we have same functionality. You just have to bake. But first is default. That means the user or that cook knows how to bake, or that person knows how to bake. One method which takes instructions, where we are giving instruction and accordingly that baking process will happen. So both are doing what? Same stuff, baking. But we have a different ways. One it knows, one it needs instructions. So that's one of the requirement we will see in upcoming classes, that why we need such method with that same name and but different functionalities. So it varies with different types. So we have a class and we have one method, actually two methods with same name, bake and bake. How we are distinguishing them? By using or passing different types of arguments. Now we can run it by getting different class. Let's say overloading tester. Then let's create object of kitchen. Simple. Then kitchen dot bake. If we call this method, so we'll get a default message. Let's test it. Right click, run as application. Okay, here you go. And if we say bake some instruction, I'll say bake with this way, or whatever you want to. Right click, run as application. So we can call this methods, and we know how to call this. Just passing different types of arguments, you can invoke those methods. So this is what we call method overloading. So I hope it's clear. Still any question you guys can ask? These concepts are small. They won't take much time, but yeah, you guys have to practice. Okay, this is about overloading.
So, so we can
Next,
have as
yes,
so we can have as many as method with the same name. Like we took example of two, we can have like multiple 5, 10. Let's take example.
yeah, see, I have given like 3, but I created 2. So you can have
Okay,
10 as per the arguments. Okay,
okay. So as long as there is a different arguments, we can have multiple method,
yeah, right.
but it cannot have the same argument.
No, you cannot have. If you do this, compiler will say it's a duplicate method.
Okay,
Okay,
got
let me
it.
show you. Fine, giving error. What it says,
Okay,
duplicate method. And if I give any argument, or maybe if I give different type, let's make it int. See, error is gone. Now, 3 methods, one takes 0, one takes string, one takes string, one is int. Okay, we can say steps of int type. String type. Okay, that's how we can have it. Let's put this there. Okay, this was about overloading, which happens within the same class. Now next says overloading. That concept is overloading, and this means polymorphism. Of course, either way, if you are doing overloading or overriding, we are achieving what? Polymorphism. So by using inheritance concept of object-oriented programming, we are achieving polymorphism. Both are different concepts, but you can combine them. Don't take it that way that okay, if you are using polymorphism, you cannot use abstraction or inheritance. Yeah, you can use it. That's the,
So
you
we can
can say,
use both.
yeah, we can combine both concepts together. Even in one single class, you can achieve all four concepts: abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance, and encapsulation.
Okay.
So, yeah, so we can combine them. Okay, so let's talk about overriding. So if you guys remember what is inheritance, this will be smooth. Okay, so we know what is overriding. I mean, sorry, inheritance. We need parent and child relationship there. Parent-child relationship goes there. So that we will do, we will create two different classes and then we will try to override them. What is overriding? There we will see. So first scenario is we have to create two different classes and make them parent and child. Okay, so let's do this here. Same package. Let's create a class. Um, let's create one class forest. Okay, this is going to be parent class, and one more class I'm going to create. I call this tree. Capital T tree. Okay, so let's create some method. Public void name, and this out. We will say forest name is Amazon. Fine, that's the first step. That's it. And I'll keep this class empty, but I'll definitely extends forest class here. Okay, so we have a parent class, we have a child class. Let me show you how it looks like on one single place. Forest class and tree class. So as per the inheritance rule, tree class will inherit this feature as well. Though it's empty, but because of extends keyword we have used, this method gets inherited in child class as well. So let's see this practically. I'm going to create one more class. I'll call that overriding tester. Overriding tester. Okay, so let's start with forest class first. Then, then we say forest dot name. Simple stuff. I'm creating object of forest and calling one method. This is we are doing from first class. Creating object, calling the method. Let's run this code application and you can see forest name is Amazon. Working fine. Nothing special, just a class and a method we called. Now let's try to create object of tree. So there goes the tree class, tree, then equals, then new tree. And now if I say tree dot name, yes, we can access it. Though tree class is empty, but because, as I said, because of extends keyword, we can inherit all the features from forest class. Right now, we just have one feature, name, which gets inherited, and we can call it. If you hold control and click on this name, it takes you on the first class, right? That's how it goes. If I hold the control button and click on name, hold control and click the name, method name, it takes you the, you can say implementation. There it is. So it's happening, and if I run this code, now that looks ugly. Of course, we are getting output. Both are printing name, but definitely here we were expecting a tree name, right? We were expecting a tree name, but what we are getting, forest name is. So it's fine. Think about in a real life as well. If we talk about parent and child, definitely parent will have their own name. But when it comes to child name, they cannot use the same name to the child. They give something else. Last name goes, no doubt, but they have to give their first name as well. That will distinguish, right? That's how we, call peoples with their names. And definitely they should be different at least by some meaning. Same thing is going to happen here. We have the same functionality, the name. Forest has same name, tree also has some name. But right now we don't have that feature on tree. If we call tree.name, it calls the name from forest. So we need that functionality in tree class as well. So what we will do here, we are going to override the method. Guys, listen carefully if you are listening to my class. If you have to achieve that feature, you have to copy the same method name and paste in the child class. What we are doing, we are trying to override method which is already present in tree class through inheritance, and we will give its own functionality. This time, instead of saying forest name, we will say tree name is something. Let's call this XYZ. I cannot recall any tree name right now. Okay, so now we have same name, public void name, public void name, but we have a different functionality or different implementation. This says forest name is Amazon, this says tree name is XYZ. So what we did, we were just using earlier we were using the method which gets inherited. Now we are overriding that inherited method coming from the forest class with a different implementation. So tree is giving their own implementation by using same name. You can see in overloading it was about method name, names were same, and we can say overloading, but that happened within the one class. Here we are using inheritance. So one functionality is coming from parent to child, and child wants its own functionality. Again, go back to in real life, as I said, maybe parent have their own wealth, their own fortune, but what child will do, they will earn their own wealth, their own income.
Okay.
Okay.
On this one, like
Yeah.
if we have the, like the parents is the forest, child is the tree,
Hmm.
can we inherit a tree again and make tree as a parent and maybe make something else as a child?
Yes, you can do that. You can go whatever length you can want, or how deep you
Okay.
want that relationship, it can happen. So,
Okay.
okay, I'll do that. Since you asked, as this is what I want in my class, keep asking. I'll evolving my example. If you just won't ask, that means we are limited. So you can see right now we are getting two different output: first name and tree name. As you said, yep, we can create one more class. So let's quickly do that. I'm going to create one more class. What to call that?
Leaves, color, tree leaves,
Yep.
or color, anything.
Yeah, anything. So yeah, let's call this leaf, huh? And this is extends
It's tree.
tree.
Okay.
There we go. And now again I'll keep this class empty. So now think think here. We have a class leaf. This extends tree, right? Click, it
Yeah.
goes there. Now tree is child of forest, it goes here. So ultimately leaf class will inherit both names. But thing is, what it will come? Let's see that. Okay, right now it doesn't have any functionality. But who is its immediate class? Tree. So let's see if I call leave method, what will happen? So leave if well, I took to the wrong name because it's in plural. Always use in singular way. So let's just leave refactor name leaf. Okay, refactor again leaf. Fine, no bad, my bad. It should be singular. So when we have a leaf, then the leaf dot name. Here we go. And let me show you what just we did in our example. Here, and this is what we did, right? So we have a parent, child, and their child. So it goes now child, parent, and grandparent. So if I call name here inside leaf class, we will get functionality from the parent class, which is tree. So if I run this code here, which says leaf.name, let's see what we get. So now tree is coming. Who is the immediate parent class of leaf? It's tree. So we will get the functionality from tree if we get the same name. In case if we have one more method inside forest class, let's say location. So forest ABC, whatever. Okay, now if I'll call leaf dot location
So that'll go to the grandparents.
grandparent, right? Because that's a method which is not implemented here. So same goes inherited to leaf as well, which is already empty. So it does not have any functionality. It's just a empty class. So you can see forest location. Though we call leaf dot location, but we are getting forest location. So I hope this whole flow is clear. This is what we called overriding, which happens at runtime when your code is going to be run and we want some functionality again with the same. It's all about method. We are talking about in terms of methods here. So you can achieve this by, and this is something which is quite common. Okay, in Java, when you open any program in your project or in Java language, because Java has its own implementation as well, in terms of classes and packages interfaces. So you will see this concept is quite popular, quite common when you open any documentation of any class, existing class in Java language, which comes by default. You will see this is it's used all everywhere. You will see lots of inheritance and hierarchy stuffs there. Okay, this is done. So we are done with overriding concepts. Now what's next? Last one is encapsulation, and that is really simple. Okay, so let's see that. You don't have to do anything about encapsulation. You don't have to write or learn any new concept. Encapsulation. Okay, that's the fourth concept. And let me just check first. Did we covered? Yes. So anyone can recall what is Pojo class? We did this in previous class. Pojo class. No, I thought you guys did some revision on Friday. You guys are like 4 days. Okay, fine. So when we say encapsulation, so it starts with private fields and public getters and setters.
Setters.
And this is about Pojo class. And encapsulation says you can say it's something kind of a container containing something. Think about any example where we are containing. Think about a house. Giving you example guys here. House is encapsulating multiple stuffs inside it. It can have room. Think. I'm just thinking about what a house has. Kitchen, floor, doors, right? What house is encapsulating? Multiple stuffs inside it. Windows, okay. Any other example which you can think of? Guys, up to you. Just think. It just came randomly in my mind. Think about something which can encapsulate multiple things, multiple
Bathroom.
features. Bathroom, okay. Yeah, but I would say it's already counted a house. So something, think something different. This building is done.
Car.
Pardon?
Vehicle. Cars.
Cars. Yeah, we can say car, definitely. Now we can say when we say cars, it has its own functionality, own features. It has its gears.
Types of.
No, no, type. No, that's a
Yeah, yeah,
different.
yeah, yeah. I understand. Yeah, yeah.
Not that. So
Seat.
seats, right? Not gears, just one gear. Seat, then
Window.
steering, right? Brakes. I mean, you can count. It has lots of functionality. I'm just giving you an idea. Like when we say encapsulating, so it can have that certain thing can have multiple stuffs there. Now, if we talk about our language, it's a Java language. So I think we already covered that. Let's go back to one class, maybe here. Yep. So here it is. So if we talk about class, we can have method, constructors, nested classes, right? So we can say even class is holding up something. Yep. So I can say the third example in our list could be a class, a Java class. So there we have methods, variables, blocks, constructors, nested classes. So we can say Java class can also be a good example for encapsulation. And that's it. We're talking about if you write up Java class indirectly, we are achieving encapsulation. Okay guys, that's it. And one of the good example for encapsulation could be Pojo class, which has private fields and public getters and setters. So I'm going to create that example and we're done with all the object-oriented programming concepts. So class, um, think of anything. Let's say mouse, capital M, and here private int price, private string name or say brand. Then get a setters, select all, done. That's it. So this class can be a simplest Pojo class. Of course, you can add some more functionalities like getter setters, some constructors if you want, and some other methods which can be useful to create this functionality. So that's all for object-oriented programming concepts. Furniture, yeah, you can add furnitures, but that will be a type of something. Furniture could be of types. You can say like put in on something, then you can have price. So that's a functionality. Okay, so that's it for object-oriented concept, guys. And we just learned that if you are creating a Java class, we are achieving encapsulation. Okay, so we just covered all four concepts we just started earlier here. This. So we did inheritance, abstraction, polymorphism today, and encapsulation today.
So why do we use private in encapsulation?
It's no, it's not like if you use private only, then you can achieve it encapsulation. It's something where you encapsulate certain logics inside. Right now, what we have right now, I just gave you, as I said, it's just one of the simplest example for creating an encapsulation class. What I said here, Java class is the example for encapsulation. This is
Okay.
just one example. Okay, if you put all these stuffs except the bottom one, because that could be counted in a logical section. Your class should be simple, otherwise even if you put this nested class, you can see that class is encapsulating all these stuffs, because generally if you are creating any class, typically you will add all these stuffs, methods, constructors, blocks, nested classes. So Java class can be example for encapsulation, and this can be one more example. It's just example, okay, not just only type. Just, and yeah, that's it. Okay, now we can move forward with next concepts. Thinking what can we start. We can start with some keywords, and I think I gave you already some homework, so you guys can think about it. Let's start with static keyword. Anyone knows static keyword? Let me highlight some keywords which we have covered together. Some in class, some you guys will do in your homework. Like super key we got, this keyword we have, and static, static and final. This is what coming in my mind for now. So let's cover final and top three keywords which you guys do in your homework. Okay, so kindly do this, and if you fail to do this, try to Google and search what these keywords are, and I need examples. Okay, and definitely if you face an issue, next guy is there after me who joins, connect with him and ask how to write examples. These examples, write examples for below keywords. Okay, so check out what these things are, how it uses, how we can use them in Java, and I'm going to cover the last one, final keyword. Okay, so the fourth keyword which you're going to here is final keyword. Anyone aware about this keyword? What does it do? What's its functionality?
No.
Okay, fine. So let's see where we can use it first. Okay, where we can use it. Once we learn where we can use it, how to use it, so you can learn its functionality. So this can be implemented on all concept in Java, that is class, method, and variable. So we can apply or use final keyword on all three. How? Let's see. Next question is how to use it, right? That could be a question. So as I said, it's just a keyword. You have to use it as it is, but on these structures. So let's start with how with class. So when we say class, so it goes like this way. Example could be we have a typical class like class ABC. Okay. So what we can use here, we can write final keyword with class signature. I will say I will write here final, and that's it. So we just used one keyword with class signature. This is class signature. Okay, let me highlight it. Maybe you guys are listening or heard this term first time. Okay, I just missed one S there. That's fine. This is class signature. Okay, so don't get confused if I say class signature, because I will use this term a lot to make it clear to you guys. Okay, so this is class signature, and we just added a final keyword in the class signature. So what we achieve, right? Next could be question, what we are achieving there. So let's write one example, then it will be clear what we're achieving. Okay, so now we're starting with keywords. So let's create a new package. So right click on src, new, and creating a package. Keep the same pattern, com dot pack dot, let's say, keywords, reserve keywords or Java identifiers. Multiple names are there. So right click on package, new, and class, and what? Let's start with final keyword tester, and done. Okay, okay, that's the tester. Now let's create one class which can be final. Okay, so not class here. Hmm, let's create one factory class. Factory. Okay, guys, let's hear from you. I just want one example for inheritance. I just want to create one inheritance example. Give me two classes where you can see, okay, we can achieve inheritance. Two Java classes. Quick. Forget about this factory class. Okay, this will be complex if I'll continue with that. Factory, leave it. Two classes where we can achieve inheritance. Come on, guys. I hope you guys understood what is inheritance. Let's from you hear from you guys. And in that case, let me stop asking from you guys. It's okay, just listen me and forget it. Okay, so let's create one example. mm, Animal and class, let's say dog. Keeping the implementation empty, we don't need to worry about what we have right now, just empty classes. Now, since dog we are treating as child class, so extends animal. Okay, so far nothing special. We just created a parent class animal and child class dog, which extends animal. Okay, now in certain scenarios, in certain circumstances, we don't want any class should inherit this parent class functionality, because if we inherit, child class can change it by overriding the method. It's possible. If I give something here, any method, dog class can inherit that class and manipulate that method and give their own implementation. So I want to restrict that behavior. I don't want this class can be extended further. So what I can do, I will add that keyword here. I don't want the other classes can inherit it. As soon as you do this, now we will get a compilation error on dog class. What it says, the type dog cannot subclass the final class animal. So here we are restricting the parent class, that the class cannot inherit it. So we just want some control over there. So now we are getting the answer why we are using this keyword on class to restrict the feature or behavior, whatever. So this is what we did. Just use this class and yep, that's it. So if you want restriction over inheritance, just use the final keyword and it's done. What are we getting? Let me put that as well. Okay, so I hope final with class signature or method is clear. We are just restricting that feature so no other class can inherit it and change the functionality. That's the reason why.
So can we final the child like
Ye-
after inheriting from the parents? Like can we
So removing final from here and
and
adding,
yeah,
so
yes,
it won't impact anything on animal,
oh,
because now we are saying what? Now further dog class cannot be subclassed or cannot its create child class,
yes, yeah.
right?
So like I like if we do this like in the that's what we did in like the previous what was
hmm
that
Leaf.
yeah, on the leaf. So
So
okay,
here, if I say puppy class, right? Okay, there's a typo. So and if I say extends dog or something, dog, giving me error. See what it says? The type puppy cannot subclass the final class dog. Fine.
so from here like we cannot override from here.
Yeah, it just no, no, don't call override. That's something behavior. Here we just cannot inherit it. Overriding something else, right? Inherit means we are overriding some behavior. Right now we have an empty behavior, but we cannot subclass it, or we cannot create its child class. So in simple terms, if you're using final keyword any class method, any class signature, sorry, so you cannot subclass it or you cannot create its child class like here. This is when we use with class. Okay, with method, um, final keyword with method. That is second point. So it goes with again method signature, like we had seen class signature, we have a method signature. Public void name with it, or let's say breed. I'm going to use this method on this animal and breed class, animal class and dog class. So what we have method breed here. So if we use final here, don't write final after void, it should be before. Void and method name, return type and method name should be together. You cannot type in between. If you do this, your code will not get compiled. Always write these identifiers or keywords before the keyword, before return type. Right now, what's the return type? Void. We can have int, float, double, whatever you want, but that keyword, the extra keyword should be before void. Okay, so now what we just did, we added a final keyword. If you if you do this, let's see what happens. So what I'm going to do, let's, for the sake of this example, let me remove final keyword. Now I will create this method here. Default breed. We don't have any specific breed here, and let's remove this final keyword from here for now. Done. And what we are doing here, we are overriding it says dog breed. Let's say Labra. Now, if you see here, we have a method breed inside animal class, and you just want to override that behavior. So from animal, it's default coming, but in dog class, it is specific. That's a breed. Okay. Now what I want to restrict again the same functionality. Maybe we can have a child class of animal that is dog, but I don't want this method to be override. Okay, now we can use that term. So if I just write final, now we'll get error. See, as soon as you add final keyword, it says error. What it says, cannot override the final method from animal. So why we are doing this? Question is why for method signature, why we are using final keyword method signature? To restrict the method overriding. Come on. Then, so earlier it was a class, so you cannot subclass it, you cannot create its child. Now we are doing method overriding to restrict that particular method. Of course, you can have multiple methods, so it's totally up to you which method you want to, don't want to get it uh, overridden. I can have one more method, age, and this will be fine. I can override this method. This is whatever, let's say 10 years, default age. So now what we just did, we having two methods inside animal, and one is properly overridden, but one is getting issue because we just mark that method final. So this is uh, final keyword with method. So basically, when we use final keyword, we are trying to restrict something. When it's a class, so we are restricting inheritance. When it's a method, we are restricting overriding. So we have a final keyword here. Child class is trying to override, and we'll get this error. This won't work, will give you a error. Okay, can't override in child class. So that's it for final keyword. I don't need to create any tester class, right? Because we are not here to run the code, we are trying to understand the concept, and that's done. So this is final with method. With variable, quite straightforward. We can do that without inheritance. So third is final keyword with variable. Okay, so what you have to do, nothing special, just go in a class and let's talk about animal. Okay, going to create one variable. So let's say int name equals to um, default name, right? My bad, not int, string. Okay, so we have a default name here. We don't need any inheritance, so I'm not going to doc class. So we have a name, default name. Later, after some time, we figured out, okay, we can have at least some name, and later we can change it. So I'll say public void get name, and now inside this method, I want to change that name. Initially we get default. Now I want to change this. Let's say XYZ. And if I say sys out, I say animal name is name. Fine. And if I run this code, yeah, we can create a raster for see this. Okay, or leave it. You can see initially it was default name, but inside get name, I have changed it to XYZ and printing the name. Now I want this behavior as well. I want something to be static, to be constant. So what I can do, I can use final. As soon as I do this, you will see an error. What it says? The final field animal.name cannot be assigned. You cannot reassign a value which is already final. This means we are trying to make it constant, or you can say fixed. Whatever term is making sense to you guys. Permanent. Once you do this, that means that thing is done. You cannot change its value. Think about any unique ID or something you have, any document or government ID. If you have that number, that particular name there, that is done. I mean, of course you can modify it, but take it that way that if something is already done there, so you cannot change its value. Same thing
Like,
happened here. I give a name and it is changed. Yes.
okay, so can we use like we say we can use final in a variable, right? A variable type. Like, can we use final in a like the primitive as well in a primitive data types?
Yeah, it is possible. Let's make it int. Let's make it then age, and let's make it 0 by default. Okay, it's fine having age, and let's make it age. This time we figured out, okay, the age, let's say 5 for now, working fine. And let's make it final. Okay, now age is also giving error. Same message, the field animal.age cannot be assigned because it's already constant. So once we have this kind of behavior, we want something cannot be changed in future process. And again, final is really common in programming language, guys. You don't you actually you're going to use final keyword a lot to maintain some behavior which you
Like
want.
in a real life project, like where is this like mostly used?
Mostly we can say something where we have some fixed structures like uh, maybe a database value, maybe database
Oh,
username or password, or any URL you are going to create for database. So if you're doing any configuration, which is quite bad, but yeah, initially when we start learning, we will put configurations in Java class, and definitely nobody wants that value to be changed in future classes.
Okay, okay. So
further.
yeah, I understand now. So like the
Okay.
URL, you said like it should not be changed, so we can put the
Yeah.
final in the URL. Okay,
Sometimes in a single file or in a single method, multiple developers are working, and I want that variable should be static. So no one can
understand.
even, don't want to change it by other developers because they might do this unintentionally, right? By mistake, they can change the value, and that will impact the whole process. So if you feel that this variable is quite static, sorry, this field should be constant, should not get changed by anyone, intentionally or unintentionally, you can have a variable final keyword. So that's it guys about final keyword. So we use this final keyword with class, with method and variable. And you have noticed final keyword is all about putting restrictions. With class, it restricts inheritance. With method, it restricts method overriding. And with variable, it restricts its value to be changed in future lines, upcoming lines. So it cannot allow you to change its value. So final keyword is all about putting restriction on all three terms we learned: class, methods, and variable. I hope this is clear to everyone. If it is, so please try to figure out all these keywords. Super, this static. Write us some example. One line code is fine for me. I don't want some big logic and stuff, as I always said. Keep your example simple so you can focus on concept instead of focusing on logic. Logic you can build over time when you spend some time in any language, but you need to understand concept for now. We are still building our base. Maybe
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I
Yes.
I get it, but there is like a lot in a short time period to learn.
Yeah, no doubt it is. It is.
Yeah,
Even Koda will take 4 to 5, 6 months,
I
probably
just
if you do
forget.
it.
I forget the next day, but I do practice. But yeah, I do forget, so I do get help from other
Yeah,
place
yeah.
too. So
We are here,
yeah,
and as I said, if you know some basics of Code Java, so you need to spend 2 hours max at least, at least. But if you're new to all these stuffs, this is completely new to you guys, so at least spend 4 to 5 hours if you really want to do anything in Code Java. I mean, in Java language or in your
I
future.
never knew about I never knew about the final. Even I have worked in the
Okay, okay.
project, but I never knew about the final.
Yeah, yeah, right. So yeah, it's all about requirement basis. When you need it, you can use it. Otherwise, leave it. So it's for everyone, guys. If you are new to this whole stuff, please try to spend more time. This is the only way. There is no shortcut to learn any programming language. Spend time, you will be better in concepts. Okay, so that's it. Tomorrow we can start doing exception handling. Okay, one of the topic which we saw in previous class. If I go back, so in our intro class we talked about some concepts, right? These things. So we did okay. We still have a string and access. Sorry, my bad. We still have a concepts. Okay, we can spend some more time. So I'm giving in advance if you can. Okay, if you are able to do all the homeworks, which I am expecting, you should go do. So we can start with string, and string is fine. Then we can do exception handling. Other concept we can do parallelly. Exception handling. So these are two upcoming topics. So tomorrow we'll do string, and then of course string will take hardly 30 minutes max. We don't need to go inside too much deep. It's otherwise it will mess up other concepts. So we'll just see basics of string class. So far we have used this string class as a type, but there are other functionality. So that we will see tomorrow. So that's for tomorrow. So okay guys, so continue with Shivam. I hope you joined. So let's meet tomorrow and see you then. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.